Hey guys, Reed here and welcome to ReadReborn. In today's video I'm carrying on my class review / thoughts series, and in this video I am looking at the Astrologian. The Astrologian was the second class I got to 60. I first did the Bard, which I've already made a review video on. If you want to check that out then feel free. But I really enjoyed playing the Astrologian. I'd played healers before. I don't have a white mage to level 50, but I've got a white mage to like 42 I think, and also a scholar to a route 40 as well. So I knew what healing was, I knew the rough idea, I knew what to do. And I found that Astrologian was no different. It just had a cool little spin with the cards thing. Once I first saw that Astrologian from the fan festival in London, I was the most hyped for that one to come out. I was pretty interested in Dark Knight as well. Wasn't too interested in Machinist just because I had the Bard already. But I thought the Astrologian looked really cool with the card system, and who doesn't like the star deck? It looks amazing. So I'm now going to talk about the different abilities to the Astrologian. Firstly the healing abilities, then the attack offensive abilities, and finally the cards and the different stances that you can go in. So in terms of healing abilities, I found the Astrologian very similar to the White Mage. It played pretty similar, and they basically have the same skill sets in terms of Cure 1, Cure 2, Benefic 1, Benefic 2. They've got a quick instant heal, a regen, and a large group heal and stuff as well. So if you played White Mage and was looking to branch out and try another healer if you haven't done Scholar already, then Astrologian might be pretty similar to something you're used to already, so maybe Scholar might be something different. So now moving on, in terms of offensive abilities, I think this is where Astrologian gets a bit let down, to be honest, because you get 2 offensive abilities when you start, and then the next one after that is at level 46, so you play 16 levels of just the same 2 skills for offense, which I think is pretty boring. There's no variety. But in between 50 and 60 you get 2 more, and they are a bit different than what you have already, so it's not too bad. So finally we're moving on to the card system. Personally I think this is a great way to keep healers interested in fights and stuff, because there's nothing more boring than just clicking the one same button to heal the tank because he's not taken hardly any damage. It's a boring dungeon. So now with the Astrologian, every 30 seconds you get to draw a card, and fingers crossed it will do you or the group, or give them a little bit of help. It just adds a bit of variety to the class. It's a nice way, a different way of healing rather than your normal just button hits. It gives this something extra to do, and obviously the closer you get to 60, the more abilities you unlock for the cards and stuff, and the more interesting it gets in fights, and it really sometimes does count when you use those abilities. The one drawback of the card system is the RNG factor. I mean, you can draw the same card literally 10 times in a row. It's pretty ridiculous, and even the ability that makes you take swap one and get another one, you can get the exact same one, so you haven't really got anywhere. I think one way this can be improved is just by having a probability. So say at the start of the fight every single card has the exact same chance of being drawn, but once you've drawn it, that goes to the bottom of the pile, and every other card gets an increased probability of that being drawn. And then once that's been drawn, that goes to the bottom, and then the other cards have even more probability of being drawn, just to mix things up so you don't get the same card every single time. Apart from that, I think the card system works really well with the Astrologian. It is something really cool and a new addition to the game that hasn't been seen before. I haven't seen anything similar to that in any other MMO, so personally I think it's really enjoyable. And the absolute final thing I'll talk about is the different stances that you can do. They're called sects. There's Diurnal Sect and Nocturnal Sect, and this basically lets you change between sort of a White Mage stance and a Scholar stance. And I think this is a really good thing for the Astrologian, because like I said earlier, if you played a White Mage and you haven't played a Scholar, you could still give the Astrologian a go and enjoy the card system and other stuff like that, whilst sort of playing a Scholar type class at the same time. So you get to try them both, which is really good. Depending on what sect you have active, depends on what abilities you can use. So if you have the Diurnal Sect on, that's basically the White Mage stance, and some of the abilities give regen effects. Whereas if you've got the Nocturnal Sect on, that gives Scholar type abilities and gives Adloquium sort of shield sort of effects. So overall, that is my basic thoughts on the Astrologian. Personally, I really enjoy the class. I've really had fun since I've picked it up from Heavenward, and I'm carrying on playing it pretty regularly, just doing my daily experts or raids World of Darkness. The Void Arc, jeez. But yeah, I definitely recommend that you try it. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, then please feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more Final Fantasy XIV videos in the future.